Thank you for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. First, there are a lot of water rescues ongoing, quite a few to say the least in parts of Honduras. All of what we've talked about the last few days with the rain, regardless if this became a hurricane or just stayed a tropical storm, the rain, it's all happening. We are thinking and praying for those that are dealing with this, in particular right across Honduras. There's going to be the mudslide threat. Been mentioning Nicaragua, and of course all of this shifting its way toward Belize and even Guatemala. We're going to see heavier rain and the mudslide threat just spreading across. This is just sitting there. This is a terrible, terrible situation where a tropical system is sitting in place. Yeah, it's moving a little bit, right? But it's just kind of wiggling and wobbling its way off toward the west. So watching Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua. We're all praying for you in this weather community. Check the comments. You'll see those kind words. This is the best community on social media, period. There's no doubt about that. So here it is. This is Sara, still a tropical storm. And to get a little stronger, I want to go over the winds and zoom down, watching everyone, of course, and we'll go over the forecast island by island as we go forward, doing my best to keep everyone covered. But of course, highlighting this, if the center stayed more offshore, it would have been that major hurricane. It did not. The center has been hugging the northern coast of Honduras and upwards of 30 inches of some rain. We're talking over 500 millimeters of rain plus in some spots, some record levels of rain, just incredibly dangerous river. So today, tomorrow, and then Sunday, this tropical storm will move into Belize. Now, of course, this is where the center goes. Of course, we're already dealing with some of the rain impacts now, and the flooding impacts starting to move into Belize, but we're going to see more with the center moving in on Sunday. Then on Monday, this will gradually weaken as it lifts, just kind of skirting by northern Guatemala into Mexico. And then eventually, this area will completely fall apart. The rain will get caught up into a front, and then that rain will be driving its way off toward the northeast, but it's not going to regenerate in the Gulf of Mexico long term. So that's some good news kind of long term. So just kind of highlighting action mode. I've been kind of sinking this a little bit down to the south, of course, Belize, Honduras, but even parts of Nicaragua and Guatemala, watching out for the mudslides with this, those landslides, historic amounts of rain. I mentioned over 500 millimeters of rain, 20 inches of rain, but it could be up to 30 inches of some rain in some spots. Devastating stuff when you're dealing with not just regular rain. This is the tropical stuff, a tropical system. We know how it goes across the Caribbean, back into Central America. It comes down, and we're going to see the intense flooding, the intense downpours that are nonstop. Here's the rain outlook, zooming down first. Then we'll go over the models and all of that stuff ahead. But I don't want to use the word hate, but I kind of do. Really dislike passing along some of this information because this is in addition to what we've already got. Excuse some of my language there, but you see these yellow shadings here. That's 250 millimeters of rain or 10 inches on top of what we've already had. But you see this green shading in here even popping up really south of Belize City. That would be could be upwards of about an additional 500 millimeters of rain or 20 inches of some additional rain, and all of this working its way. I mentioned northern sections of Nicaragua, and then here's Guatemala as this moves in. Yeah, it's going to be weakening, but we're still going to see some amounts, around 200 millimeters of rain, 8 inches of rain in Guatemala. And then as you get north of Belize City, so you get up toward Cozumel, dealing with some heavier rain, but it will start to cut off north of there, and then things start to diminish some. We'll eventually get some rain in Merida and Campeche, but it's going to be a different system as it moves through, and it will weaken. Here's that closer look, the core of it right in here, watching the Bay Islands with an additional at least 8 inches of rain or 200 millimeters of rain. That's at least. You can see some of us will be more, talking that 10 to 20 inches of rain, and then just moving Punta Gorda over toward Big Creek. All of this lifts in. And then those higher totals, northern and eastern sections of Guatemala, and then working its way up into parts of Mexico. That is devastating stuff. Now, as far as the winds go, with the center hugging the coast, this didn't become a major hurricane. I guess that part is good, no doubt, but still watching out for some of the gusty winds, and this just kind of adds to things. Bay Islands over toward Honduras, we'll have some winds gusting to around 60 miles per hour, 95 kilometers an hour. We get back toward southern sections of the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, back back across Belize, and then eastern sections of Guatemala, some of the winds 50 miles per hour or 80 kilometers an hour to keep you covered. Let me zoom down and then I'll widen out the picture and then we'll go over the models. But here's what we're seeing. The center just kind of right near the Bay Islands over toward northern Honduras, somewhere in here, hugging the coast. So again, it hasn't gotten too much stronger, but it's just that rain day after day. This is by tomorrow morning, so overnight. The downpours persist. And again, those ongoing water rescues, please do whatever you can to stay safe. Very dangerous rivers through the day tomorrow. This is tomorrow evening. Not as much. It does start to progress, starts to move in. This is when it really starts to make its move into Belize. We're not talking about hurricane winds, but we are talking about the very dangerous flooding. And then as we work our way into Sunday, there's that rain working its way Sunday morning into eastern sections of Guatemala. At that point, we're going to start to see some of the weakening. Once the center of this moves into Belize, we'll start to get some of the weakening. We'll get more of that rain. You see Cozumel South here trying to spread back toward Campeche, and then you see that rain across some of our interior sections here. By the time we get into Sunday night and Monday, substantial weakening. Still some rain around, but totally different. This is Monday afternoon. That's when this thing totally falls apart. We cannot wait until that happens. That cannot happen soon enough. So this is Monday. And then you see, once we get into Monday, Tuesday, the rain lifts into the Gulf. This is really tied into a front. It's not tropical in nature at this point. A big front rolling through the east coast of the U.S. That'll bring that rain to Florida, parts of Cuba, and over toward the Bahamas by the time we get into Wednesday, and chillier weather back behind it. Just wanted to show you kind of the northern aspects of that. Now, a couple things going on here. This is the European model. Everything's been in good agreement, right? Here's the Caribbean. I don't just look at the models. I look at the environment and what's going on. We have one front that moved off. We do have this spin here, almost subtropical in nature, not quite tropical in nature. It's kind of sciencey, a little complicated there, but not fully tropical, but gustier winds and some rain. That'll head toward Bermuda. We've been talking about that for the last few days, but of course, here's that rain that's working in. Still watching Costa Rica and Panama. We're going to see the rain chance trying to drop off some. We've been dealing on the south side of this, still that enhanced rain. This here is by our Saturday afternoon. You can see that system there. And what's going on is with that front that's moved here and that little spin over toward Bermuda with the gusty winds in Bermuda tonight and tomorrow, high pressure is built in. That's usually an area of nice weather, but it acts like a blocker. And that's been keeping everything down to the south. That's why this hasn't been able to move much. And we're talking about 4 to 5 day rain event with those tropical downpours. There's that area of high pressure. This here is on Sunday. Sunday, you could see everything starting to work inland into Belize. Of course, Belize, we're getting the rain already coming in for some spots, but the center works in on Sunday. The area of high pressure on Sunday starts to move. A front starts to come through Oklahoma and Texas, and that allows this area to start to kind of make its move back toward the northwest. As it does, though, it crosses land, and it crosses land slowly. Parts of Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, so the center can't feed off of the warm water, and that's why there'll be substantial weakening. This here is by Monday. The area just basically falls apart. Here comes that front, and yes, this rain will get tied into that front and then work its way off toward the east as we go forward. But you see here, as we work our way into Monday, you can't even really find a tropical system at this point. It just basically falls apart at that point. These lines have been kind of bugging me on social media because this looks scary. You just take this map and you don't listen to anything I just said, it would say it looks like a system's coming. That's why sometimes these maps are so deceiving, and a lot of people kind of using those, I don't know, maybe to get clicks or whatever. But this here is just showing where, of course, the devastating impacts through here, but once it crosses land, this area falls apart. In the rain, this is just the rain here, not a tropical system, not a hurricane getting caught up into the front. This tells the story of that. These are those squiggly lines, but the strength of it, this is a day out, 2 days out, 3 days out, and tropical storm strength in the green shading, and then just that substantial weakening and just nothing, not a hurricane or anything like that. That area of rain gets caught up into that front. But the fuel for this has really been that warm water that we've had in the Caribbean. Once the remnants of this, the leftovers, get into the Gulf, temperatures can kind of support a system. If there was a hurricane in the Caribbean and it lifts directly into the Gulf, it could still stay a hurricane this time of year. But as far as any development or redevelopment of a system, conditions are not conducive for that. That is not likely in the Gulf of Mexico this time of year based on what I'm seeing in the environment. So Sara, that's the name we have now. Tony, Valerie, William, only 3 names left on the list. I'm not seeing any indications that we're going to see another named system very quickly forming after Sara. Sometimes deep into November and December, we get something spinning out in the Atlantic that could get a name. No signs of that yet. I'll look long-term first, but of course, watching this. Now, the Cayman Islands and Jamaica, I want to widen out the view because we're going to have some rounds of rain around at times, and some of that could lead to flooding. So, again, watching everyone, Cayman Islands, Jamaica, some of that additional rain that will be possible through about Saturday, but Sunday, as this all starts to work in, rain chance goes down. But you see Puerto Rico, British U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Lucia, chance of some scattered showers and storms as we get into our Sunday forecast. Of course, the seas, a mess right near Honduras. Things are going to build, though, as we go through the weekend into early next week in the Gulf of Mexico, because what is left of Sara starts to kind of work across the Yucatan Peninsula. And, of course, there's that spin with a very high seas near Bermuda and those gusty winds. But as this area works its way into the Gulf, there's also that front that is coming in. So this here is Sunday. So we're going to see the very dangerous kind of choppy, or rough seas, I should say, across the Gulf of Mexico by the time we get into Monday, as that next front starts to push into the Gulf of Mexico. Here is that spin, though. I wanted to show you this. Also, another spin. We've been very unsettled, to say the least. New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, over toward Newfoundland. But you see here, and you see the rain there. But this here, as you get back toward Bermuda, that's where we're seeing this spin moving in. That means some of that rain, especially late today, tonight. Some of the gustier winds early tomorrow. New Brunswick, Newfoundland, still dealing with that chance of some showers, some snow showers as you get back toward Quebec. This spin, though, here in Bermuda, that'll start to work our way later in the day, but some of this kind of lifts up to the north. You see that there as we work our way into Sunday. So that unsettled pattern continues for the Atlantic region of Canada. I zoomed down with the rain totals earlier. We're mainly dry. Cuba, Bahamas, Haiti, Dominican Republic, chance of some rain. Cayman Islands, and watching Jamaica, we could still get some totals in some spots the next 2 days of 100 millimeters of rain or 4 inches of rain. Forecast has stayed on track. Keep me posted in the comments your location in Jamaica and in the Cayman Islands and what you're getting or not getting, because we're kind of right on the edge of some of the outer bands of Sara. Scattered areas of rain, I was just showing you that a moment ago, possible, unsettled Anguilla, British, U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, kind of more of the hit or miss variety. Barbados, St. Vincent the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad, as we get back toward northern Guyana, Suriname could see a few showers. Northern sections of Venezuela, of course, I covered this area here, but still, even interior Nicaragua, as some of this rain kind of hits the higher terrain, the enhanced rain, Costa Rica and Panama, we could have some 3-day totals over 6 inches of rain or 150 millimeters of rain, and higher than that. Could be over that Mexico City north dry. Texas, though, that next front, that is moving in. So watching out for the increased rain, or not really increased, but the high chance of rain at times for some of us in Jamaica the next 2 days. And then the rain chance starts to drop off. Same thing in the Cayman Islands. Starts to drop off once we get into Sunday. Scattered showers and storms possible. Trinidad and Tobago, 20% chance today in Barbados, a 40% chance for tomorrow. 20% chance in St. Lucia, a 40% chance for tomorrow, and about a 40 to 50% chance of some scattered showers across Grenada as we go over the next few days. 40%. Through the weekend, could see a few showers, St. Vincent and the Grenadines Saturday and Sunday. 30 to 40% chance this weekend in Martinique. Even back toward Dominica, rain chance up to about 40% on Sunday. Rain chance 30 to 40% in Guadeloupe over the next 3 days, and could see a couple of those passing showers. Antigua and Barbuda, 30 to 40% chance St. Kitts and Nevis over toward Montserrat, and a 40 to 50% chance Anguilla and St. Bart's. We're going to have a little bit of rain, 30 to 40% chance St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. And as we get back through Puerto Rico, scattered areas of rain, even a couple thunderstorms possible, isolated flooding, and staying very unsettled right through the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Rain chance about 50% for the weekend, but we get back through the Bahamas, we're mainly dry, and we get over toward the Turks and Caicos, a lot of sunshine with us. Rain chance about 40% in the Dominican Republic, and a 30% chance over the next few days across Haiti, best chance south of Port-au-Prince. Belize, though, of course, all eyes have been on that with what's going on, the immense flooding that will be possible through the weekend. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, the rain chance is kind of a seasonal 20% chance of a shower. 40 to 50% chance the next couple days, trending down in Guyana. Could get an isolated chance of a shower in Suriname. Rain chance very low across Cuba. Rain chance stays minimal. On the flip side, still the areas of flooding, Costa Rica and Panama. Nicaragua, again, highlighting some of those pockets and watching the mudslides with Sara. Please do what you can to stay on the safe side if you're dealing with that. Of course, Honduras, we know exactly what's going on. 40% chance of rain in Guatemala, and on the dry side as we work our way back toward Mexico, of course, Guatemala watching eastern end for some higher impacts from Sara. Yucatan Peninsula, again, south of Cancunish, making up stuff here, south of Cancun, Cozumel South, better chance of getting some of the rain. 40% chance northern Colombia, 30 to 40% chance in northern Venezuela, and there's that rain sweeping in with some gustier winds, higher seas tonight into early tomorrow across Bermuda. So again, all eyes on Sara as that just continues to crawl its way off toward the west. Record amounts of rain are possible, mudslides, dangerous rivers, and it will start to really make its move on Sunday, moving into Belize, and then it will start to weaken after that. So all eyes on Honduras, Belize, watching parts of Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua. We are all thinking of you in the comment section. Our prayers go out to you. Be safe. Have a good rest of your day.